Got on. All right, so good. Welcome to this live broadcast. Welcome to our Monday live show. That show where we talk about parenting our young children and our preteens. We understand that it still takes a village to raise a child. I hope you understand that. I do, and I like to remind parents that it still does. It still takes a village to raise a child. And whilst we may not have, the kind of settings that our parents had, where you had boy who could check on your children where you were not there, you have us online. And yes, we can still share our experiences. We can still check our notes. We can still share with each other what it is that we are doing, where we are winning at, where we are struggling at, and where we have failed at, and we have bounced back, right, to do better. So yes, it still takes a village to parent a child, and this is why we are here every Monday, to be a part of your parenting journey, to be a part of your village. My name is Rebecca Chima. I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy and PTM Resources. I am also the proud matron of the Mastermind Circle, peer mentorship and accountability group, where we work with young children between ages 6 and 14 to help them learn to start taking baby steps towards becoming independent, self-sufficient, and of course, being able to navigate the world on their own. Dear parents, if you are raising children in the 21st century, then you want to do them this service. You want to bless them with the gift of perspective. You want to bless them with the gift of independence. You want to bless them with the gift of self-direction. So the earlier you get your children into spaces, the earlier you get them into platforms where they are encouraged, they are guided, they are supported, and most especially, they are given accountability, right? They're giving accountability such that they can begin to direct themselves, or they can begin to, walk that journey, walk their personal journey, understanding that they are the most important people in their own lives. One of the reasons why we have children who are so entitled, and we enjoy talking about, right? I mean, you hear a lot of times when adults basically are having conversations about children. What you hear these days is, oh, Gen Z this, Gen Z that. Gen Zs are this, they are not committed, they are not supportive, they are very detached, right? They do not want to commit to any system where they find themselves. They're very detached, they are very lazy. You hear all kinds of things that when adults gather together to talk about our own children, our children, these are the adjectives and these are the ways that we describe these children. But then again, I always stop and I like to stop and ask parents when I hear these conversations, or when these conversations come up. I ask them, who are the people who are raising these Gen Zs? Who are the people raising these children that are this, that? They say a fruit does not fall far from its tree, isn't it? Right? And you cannot give what you do not have. So if our children are not giving off all of these things that we're talking about, perhaps it's because they don't have these things. And why is it? Why are they raised by super parents and they still do not have these things? Maybe we should start doing a bit of reflection as parents and asking ourselves, how much are we giving our children? How much do our children know, have, or are by virtue of the fact that we are their parents? What parenting advantage does your child have simply because you are their parents? Welcome to this live broadcast. Today, we're going to be talking about another interesting topic, as we always do. Today, we're going to be looking at how we can use personalized home learning plans to assess how our children are, what kind of progress our children are making. All right. If you are with me, please don't just be in the background. Say something in the comments to let me know that you are with me. If you are watching on YouTube, let me ask you, have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? Even if you're catching the replay of this session, Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? Why don't you go ahead and hit the subscribe button right away, and remember to click on the notification button also, so that you get to be a part of all of the amazing resources that we share in this community. And yes, you also get a notification whenever we come live, so that you can be a part of the show and you can ask your questions while we're right at it, right? Yes. So good. Why don't you go ahead and do that? And if you are watching on Facebook or catching the replay on Facebook, do you have a friend who needs to be here? Do you have a friend who is a parent of a preteen or parent of a young child, right? Even a parent of a toddler. All right. Why don't you go ahead and tag them so that they can also be a part of this insightful session that we are having right now. So let's move. All right. So yes. So a personalized education plan or learning plan is something that you hear you hear in regular or formal school settings, isn't it? In fact, you hear more of it, in settings where you have children who are having developmental challenges or educational that are challenged, right, in one way or the other, right, especially when it has to do with challenges in their education. You hear this also in centers that are inclusive, where you have children who have learning challenges, right, and are in the same environment with children who do not have these challenges. So you hear this come up, and most times what it simply means is that you are looking at the individuality of the child. You're looking at the child's specific challenges, their weaknesses, their strength, everything that makes this child different, everything that makes this child different, or everything that is the reason why the child is not learning at the same pace with other children. You're looking at all of this, and you take all of this knowledge and use them to create a personal plan or an individualized plan, so that you can help this child optimize learning. So when you go to formal education setting, or you go to traditional schools, all right, this is what you hear, and this is what this is what it seems like, when you hear them talking about this. Now, this, of course, also happens, of course, if you go to schools that, understand these things and are willing to go through, the pain of creating plans like this for their students. It's not every time that you find this. All right. When I was actively in a classroom, when I was actively a teacher, like in a proper school, right? I started creating personalized plans for students in 2014, right? So I've been doing this for about 10 years. All right. So usually it's, as I said, a child who is struggling in a particular area or with challenge, right? A child who has like learning challenges and all of that. And we come in to try and create some sort of a plan that will help the child get some personal or individualized support to help them, work at their pace to meet, to come to be a part, or at least to ensure that they are learning and all of that. But it's not every time you find schools who are able to do this. And even for schools who do this, it's not really that easy for it to be effective, because you just might be dealing with so many children, and it makes it more difficult, or it makes it difficult to give them that individualized attention that they need. Okay. Now, even if you have schools who do this, I say this to parents, that could be a school that is dealing with 20, 30 children. And you as a parent will be dealing with just one or two children. And yes, when we talk about personalized plans at home, we do not necessarily, we're not referring to your child who has learning disabilities or challenges, right? It's something that you can take and apply in your parenting. Dear parent, an intentional parent, or a mentor parent, as I like to call myself, is a thinking parent. Yes, an intentional parent is a thinking parent. A mentor parent is a thinking parent. Is a parent who does not do the regular. Is a parent who goes the extra mile. Yes. So if you are intentional, you have decided to be intentional about your children. Always remember, I try not to forget this, that these children are not going to be as young as they are, and they're not going to need us as much as they do, for the rest of their life. They're not going to need us, at that level at every point of their life. It's only a short period, all right? It's only for a short period that they will need you. And as a matter of fact, as they grow older, the need, or how much, or how the gravity of the need, right? Or the size of the need, okay, reduces as they grow older, isn't it? All right. Or the dependency on your support reduces as they grow older. So why won't we position ourselves as intentional parents or as mentor parents? Why won't we position ourselves to be available during this period of their lives where they need us? Perhaps for 10 years, for 12 years, for 14 years, for 18 years. Why wouldn't you position yourself to help your child optimize learning? And when I talk about learning, I hope by now you know that I'm not just talking about what happens in the classroom. If you follow me, you will know that for me, learning is much more than academics and what happens in the classroom. So when we're talking about learning, we're talking about 360-degree. We're talking about wholesome learning. We're talking about holistic. We're looking at the holistic thing when we're talking about learning. We're not just talking about what happens in the classroom. So as a parent, how do you position yourself? Hi, Coach Toyin. How are you doing? It's been a while. All right. So when we're talking about this kind of parenting, we're talking about a parent who is a parent who is present and is present in every area of the child's life. A parent who is helping the child and supporting the child in different areas of their lives and not just in one area of their life. So I said, an intentional parent or a mentor parent is an adaptive parent. It's a parent that is ready to adapt to, whatever challenge that the child poses. It's a parent that is ready to take what applies in other places and transform it to fit their dynamics. So yes, you can actually go to a school. Okay, I said when we talk, the concept of personalized education plan is what you hear in traditional schools, but we can take this and we can tweak it to meet our own dynamics in our homes. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about you creating a personalized home education plan. Yes, it simply means you are able to take what applies in regular schools, come and look at your child's unique situation, look at the gaps that they have, and use the same strategy or the same principles to create a plan, a curriculum, if you like, so that you are able to help your child fill in those gaps. That's what it is. Network. Sorry about that. So one of the reasons why you don't see people, especially even teachers, why you don't see people, talk a lot about creating personalized plans, or why it's not popular, it's because it's not actually the easiest thing to do, because it entails you being present. It entails you doing a lot of evaluation and assessment. It entails you understanding how the child learns, understanding a lot about the child for you to create a plan that is tailored for that child, or a plan that can support the child. Last week, we started talking, we've been talking about this, around the personalized plan for a while. And last week, I talked about why it is important, isn't it? I talked about the importance of having a personalized plan. I'll just list them. Okay. So if you want to know more about it, you can go and catch the replay of our last week webinar. I said it helps your child become an active learner. Yes. When you have been able to look at the child and look at the child's uniqueness and look at the strength and the weaknesses that your child has, and you've been able to tailor a curriculum to meet that need, you realize that when you are supporting the child, you are hitting what it is that the child needs, or what it is that the child is interested in. So a personalized plan will usually take into cognizance your child's interest, your child's learning style, how the child learns best, what the child loves, how the child loves to learn. It takes into cognizance all of this. So what it means is, when the child is being supported, the child is being supported in a way that is appealing to the child. The child is being supported in a way that the child can understand. understand. So why not? You realize that the child is willing to learn and the child is more active in that learning. So that's one of the importance of it. Another one is that it is child-centered. As I have said, it means that you are that's education. It's not like regular school where the child goes in and there's a timetable, there's subject that need to be taught, whether or not the child needs that subject or doesn't need that subject, needs that topic or doesn't need that topic, understood the topic before that one or not. Traditional school, the teacher has got a curriculum, the teacher has got the scheme of work, and this is what the teacher is teaching today. And yes, every of the 30 children or 20 or 18 children in the classroom do not have to be on the same page, but they will learn the same thing anyway. All right. But now you have tailored and you are set, you center it on the child. That's where you are able to tailor it to the child's need. So yes, it is child-centered. We also said that it has specific learning goals, all right, which of course will increase the chances of the child learning because the goals are specific to that child. So of course, it will increase the chances of the child learning. All right, the fourth one is that it focuses and prioritizes the child's interest and the child's all of these things I've talked about, of course. So, of course, that will mean it will increase the chances that the child's learning will be optimized, or it will increase the chances, right, that the child would actually learn given this kind of curriculum and all of that. And then finally, of course, it's not limited. There's much more than this. All right. I said it will also pay attention to the pace of the child's learning, and it optimizes the pace of the child's learning so that the child is not forced to jump to some other thing when the child hasn't even mastered or the child doesn't even understand the previous thing that the child was learning. So these are some of the importance or some of the reasons why your child needs a personalized education plan. These are some of the reasons why, as a parent, this is one of the ways that you want to actually support your child. That's one of the reasons why you want to go out of your way to look at these things and make sure that you apply them in your parenting. I can tell you for free that having a personalized plan is one of the best things that can happen to your parenting. And I'm not even joking about it. Having a personalized plan for a period, it could be for 5 years, for a phase in your child's life. It could be for 1 year, it could be for 2 years, it could be for 5 years, it could even be for 10 years. You know that there are people who create plans for their children for a whole 18 years. What it means is not, it doesn't mean that you create these plans and you sit on them and nothing shifts. What it means is that you have a roadmap per time. At every point, you know where you're going to. And on that journey, there can be reasons for you to tweak a thing here, tweak a thing there, change something, improve on something, add something, take away something. But at every point, you know your destination and you know where you are going to. So no, you are not confused. You are not confused as a parent. You are confident. So parents who go the extra mile to create or build personalized plans for their children are usually very confident parents. They are usually very confident parents. And the truth about it is, when you start creating plans like that, you realize that you can replicate what you do with one child with other children, paying attention to their different dynamics. So no, you're not just a copy and paste kind of parent. You are a parent who is creative. You can use what you have on ground, build on that to create something for the next child and the next child. And so, yes, you can be that person that can be a mentor parent, not just to your children, but a mentor parent to other parents and other people in your community. Why do we like to limit ourselves and how we can support our children and support the people around us? So yes, a personalized parenting plan or personalized, learning plan will change the trajectory of your parenting. It will change and upscale your parenting. I am not even joking about this. Now, in the mastermind circle, the parent mentorship and accountability group where we run, okay, we have used the personalized education plan and we have tailored it for the different age range of children that we have. So, what we have done in the mastermind is we have looked at 8 different areas, right? Where we know that if we're able to, help children, we're able to guide children to build skills, build habits, and of course, become and practice these habits consistently in these different areas. If by the time the children go through that curriculum, we would have raised wholesome children. So we have used the principle behind the personalized education plans to create a curriculum for the mastermind circle that is tailored for each group of children. So every of the tools that we share with the children, our daily tools that we share, our daily tools, our training, everything that we do, every single thing that we do in the mastermind is tailored to arrive at what we have on that plan. Now, this is us as a group with a goal, working with these children to achieve, these particular goals that we have. But how about you as a parent? How about you as a parent? And of course, we are doing this for different groups of children, different ages of children. Or so, how about you as a parent? Shouldn't you be doing this for each of your children? Each of your children, shouldn't you be doing this? So you can imagine the gain, and you can imagine how you will be able to optimize your children's learning if you are able to do this for each of them. It's not something, as I said, it's not the most popular thing. All right, this individualized or personalized education plan is not one of the most, it's not the easiest thing to do. So that's why you don't hear about it a lot, and people don't talk about it a lot. But let's bring it down really. Think about it, dear parents. If you think about your parenting, especially for those of us who are intentional, who are walking our intentional parent journey, we're being more intentional about everything that we do with our children. Think about it. What's the most difficult or the most challenging part of your parenting? You will realize that the most challenging part is not having the information, right? So it's not having the information that is the most challenging part. It's not knowing the things that your children need. That's the challenge. The challenge is usually how to execute. The challenge is usually how to execute these things, all of this information that I have gathered, all of these things that I know. How do I execute it into something that is tangible, that I can see the results in my children? Usually, that's where parents hit the rock. Now, even when you think about it, execution, now how do I step it in a way that my children believe it and they begin to internalize these things? This is usually where parents hit the rock, right? So now what we do is we support parents, we work with parents to create these personalized plans. And of course, we say as your children grow older, you want to involve them in your personalized plan. You want to involve them in the plans that you have created for them. So that way, your child becomes a part of his own journey. Your child becomes a part of the planning of his own journey. I do not even want to start telling. I can't even tell you how productive this simple, strategy, how productive, this can be. When you can create a plan that is a roadmap, you're using this, the child understands what you're doing, the child is in the know, the child understands your destination, the destination or whatever it is that you are trying to achieve, and the child understands the why behind all of it. It's one of the best things that you can do for your child. All right, so now let's look at some of the challenges, all right, that we have. Some of the challenges that we have, or some of the challenges why people are not creating, or why people are not creating plans, or why you may not, think of creating a parenting plan for your child. As I said, one of it is that it's not the easiest things to do. Okay, it's not usually easy to create a plan and all of that. The other thing is when parents sit to create plans, because many times we are not present in our children's life, because many times even the people even for the schools, even for the times that we're creating PEP in school, I can tell you for free that the PEP that I created as an educator in the classroom doesn't come anywhere near the PEP that I create for parents, right? As parents, because the PEP that you create in a school is tailored to what you know about the child in the school. And usually it's centered around their academics, their behavior in school, and sometimes, yeah, the academics and behavior. So, yeah, most times your PEP in school will just cover the child's academic growth, it will cover the child's social skills, it will cover a bit of emotional skills as the child exhibits in school. So, if it's a child that does not exhibit any particular emotional developmental issues, like the child is not throwing a tantrum, the child is not fighting, you realize that nothing is done in that PEP for the child in school. I mean, in that area. But because you are a parent and you know your child more, you understand your child more, and then you know the child in all of these different areas. So it means that you can get to, or we can get to work with you to create a more robust, personalized education plan for your child. Now, this is the difference. So these are some of the challenges why you don't hear a lot about this personalized plans, or why schools will not go the extra mile to try to create them. Of course, because hey, the child is not even, it's not as if the child has got a major, learning challenge and all of that. But as I said, we are thinking parents, we are creative parents, we are proactive parents. So yes, we can take what applies in traditional schools and then we can tailor them to meet our unique situation in our home, just because we want to optimize our children's learning experiences, because we want to raise children who are lifelong learners, because we want to give our children the unfair advantage, because we know better and because we are intentional parents and we are mentor parents. So very, very key. So now we're going to go quickly and looks like we're going to close. I mean, this class is going to be right on time today. All right. So now let's go and look at, the five. I'm going to give you 5 ways. We always like to do 5 during this meeting. Okay. So I'm going to give you 5 ways that you can help your children, or 5 ways that you can access your children's progress, right, using a PEP. Okay, 5 ways that you as a parent would be able to support your children more, because of course you can access their progress, and this is because you have a personal education plan for them. All right, how the PEP will help you do better than a regular parent who doesn't have one. All right, so number one of the most important things that you need to know as a parent, okay, especially when you're looking at assessing your children and how your PEP can help you do this, is the fact that you are able to track your child's success. You're able to track their progress as it truly is. Now, when you create a PEP for your child, because the PEP is not just any other curriculum, because the PEP is not just any other scheme, it is you who have sat down to create something. Okay, you have been supported to create something that is tailored to your child's specific need. It means that you are involved daily in your child's progress. And so you are able to tell when your child is beginning to, make progress in a particular area, or when your child is beginning to digress in a particular area, or when nothing is happening in a particular area. As opposed to a parent who doesn't have a PEP and doesn't even know the learning objectives, or doesn't even know the goal of, whatever the goal of the curriculum or the scheme that the child is using, or that the school is using for the child. Because it's not as if the schools will come and share all of their, learning milestones and, their objective, the goals. It's not like they will come and they will share every bit of it with you, isn't it? Even if they go as far as sharing every bit of it, as I said before, how much of your child's holistic education is that going to cover? So, but for you as a parent who has looked at all of the areas that you want to help your child, you want to help your child grow or develop in, you have looked at all of these areas, and these areas will include even home management, self management, even your spiritual goals, if this is part of your values, right? So it means that you can cover every area that covers your values as a family, that covers the areas that you want to educate your children in. So you can actually be flexible. That's what I'm trying to say. So because your plan or your education, your personalized plan is flexible, it covers every area of your parenting, it covers every area, of your values, it's wholesome, it's holistic. Because this is the case, now you are able to track progress in each of these areas. There is nowhere else where you can get this much flexibility. There is no more where else where you can track progress, like if you're able to create a plan for your child based on where it is that you are going with parenting this child, based on what it is that you want to achieve with the child, based on the kind of education that you want to give your child, which of course goes beyond academics. Okay. Number two is that you are able to make observational assessments. So, because you are involved, because you know the goals that you have set, because you know where your destination is, so of course you have deeper insight than a regular parent who doesn't have all of this, because they have not created a personalized plan for their child. So, yes, you are able to work with that child, or you're able to even work with the child's teacher to ensure that whatever it is that are the goals that the school has, or whatever it is that the school is achieving with your child, is in sync with where it is that you are going, or what it is that you are trying to achieve with your child. When I go for PTC for my children, I am not one of those parents that will go for PTC, or we're not people who will go for PTC and we just sit down and all that it is the parent, the teacher telling us about our children. So when we go for PTC, we would actually sit down and the teacher will be like, will give us feedback, here, there, here, there. But our PTC is such that we are the one doing more of the telling. We are the one doing more of the we're the one doing more of the feedback than it is the teacher doing, because we know these children far more than the teachers know them, and because we are involved, and because we have a personalized plan that covers even the areas that the teachers, that covers the area that the school is focused on. So we can say, based on what we have, this is where we think, this is what we think that the school is not meeting, right? So we're able to come with we come with content for our PTC. All right, we come with content for our PTC saying, oh, we were thinking the child should be here. We're thinking the child should have done this. We're thinking, and that's where you realize that you are in sync with the school, because the school knows that, okay, you understand and you are involved in whatever it is that is going on in your children's life, basically. So yes, you cease being that parent who goes to a parent-teachers conference hoping to go and learn about your child. You go there to go and concur with what the teacher is saying, or to point out, what it is that the teacher is probably not saying or not seeing. So you realize that you become more valuable to the teacher than the teacher is to you, because you have a plan, you have your roadmap, you are on your journey, and that journey covers what the teacher is doing and even much more. So very, very key. It helps your child when you have a personalized education plan. It helps your child. It helps you assess your child's self-leadership skills. Yes, it helps you assess your child's self-leadership skills and ownership of their own life, because in your plan, self-management is a part of your curriculum. So at every point, it means that you are working actively, or your curriculum covers a part that allows your child to be independent, that allows your child to direct themselves, that allows your child to take initiative, that allows your child to self-motivate. So you are able to access this because you have a curriculum that is tailored to meet that need. Now, if you're going to just depend on traditional, education and the curriculum, you would not know what it is that they are doing in the area of your child's independence, self-motivation, and all of that. You're not able to assess that progress. You can't, you don't know. You don't know, I mean, so much about that, because of course you don't know what the goal is, for the school, but you are able to set your own specific goals, and you are able to assess this. So you realize that chances are for parents, is it just chances are for parents who has created personalized goals in this area, you realize that you are doing something right. You're doing something intentional around helping your child become, independent, self-motivated, and all of that. You're doing something consistently, and so you're able to assess progress in this area also. Very, very key, this one. And this is part of what we do even in the mastermind circle. One of our biggest goal in the mastermind circle, our peer mentorship and accountability group, as I mentioned earlier, one of our biggest goal in the mastermind circle is to help children become self-sufficient. We want the children to start taking initiative. We want them to start directing themselves. We want them to walk towards, we want them to walk daily, right? Directing themselves, taking ownership of their lives, and telling themselves, I am the most important person in my own life. So yes, because this is part of our mastermind, goal. So you realize that our curriculum is tailored to help children do activities, to help children do things that will ensure that they are directing themselves daily. And so, in assessing these children, these are some of the things, or this is one of the things that we are looking at. So, when our children turn in their daily report, we want to see how well or how much they've directed themselves. When we give them tools, right, we give them tools because we want to see at the end how much of self-direction has gone in there. We want to see how much of, how well the child can now motivate themselves. There are times we say to the children, to the parents, just back off. We want to see how much the child, where the child has, how much the child has achieved in this area, where self-direction is concerned. So we give them tasks that will ensure that they are directing themselves. And yes, when we come back to do this assessment and we realize that the children have not made, or a particular child has not made a lot of progress in this area, we go back to the drawing board, or we go back to the beginning, and we start working again with the child. Now, this is because this is a goal. And because it is a plan that we have that the parents can work with the children with, at that level, it's easy, or it's easier to pay attention to this and to help them achieve this feat, or to fill in these gaps in their lives. Regular school alone may not be able to do all of this because, as I said, in regular school, in traditional schools, parents or teachers have to deal with many more children. Teachers have to deal with a broader curriculum, or not really, yes, a curriculum. It may not cover every area, but the curriculum is more cumbersome, right? The curriculum is more cumbersome, and so your child can spend so much time doing math and doing English. That's what I mean. The child can spend so much time trying to achieve the milestone for math in a particular school term or school year. Spend so much time trying to achieve the milestone for science in a particular term or year. So by the time they finish doing math and science and humanities and all of that, what time is left for many other things. So a lot of times the school system is not able to cover all the areas needed effectively. The focus being on effectively. So the school is not able to cover all of these areas effectively, but you as a parent can cover them effectively. And that's why you are actually in a partnership with the school. You are not meant to depend on school 100%. I use this a lot of the times, I say to parents, why do you think that when you take your child to school and the child is posing, some negative behavior and things like that, it gets to a point and the school will tell you to come and take your child away from that school. What does that tell you? It tells you that the school has expectations. They have certain part of your child's education that they think is your forte, certain part of your child's education that they think is your responsibility. So yes, the school will come and they'll tell you, oh yes, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But yes, the school still has certain part of your child's education that they believe is your responsibility. And that's why when the child begins to pose negative behavior in these areas, and they send a warning to you or they call your attention to it, if nothing is done, nothing is different, at a point, they will expel the child from the school and they send the child to you as a parent because they're trying to say to you, you should also be a school. So yes, they're trying to say to you, you should also be a school and you have not done well in this department. You have not done well in this area where you are school. So take your child back and teach them in your house. That's what it means. So that alone tells you that there is a need for you to create a plan in many more areas, in areas that the school probably, is not creating. It tells you that there is a need for you to create a personalized plan, period. Whether it's in the area that the school is doing or is in much more, it simply tells you that there is a need for you to have a plan because, yes, you are also a teacher. And the reason you take your child to school, right, and you are confident is because you know that they have a curriculum that they are going to pass your child through. So why wouldn't you have a curriculum as a child or as a parent that you will pass your own child through if you are taking them somewhere else because you are depending on the curriculum? So that's why you see parents come to school, you go to school and you're asking the question, what curriculum do you run in this school, right? Because you know that a curriculum is a thing. But when you use the word curriculum, it begins to sound as if it's one big thing. It just simply means what ways, what process are you going to pass your child through? What is the process that you're going to pass the child through for the child to be educated in this area? So I'm asking you, dear parents, what is the process that you're going to pass your child through for your child to be educated in the areas that you are parenting them in? That is what your curriculum is. So now you see, shouldn't you have one? You want to parent a child that is going to love God. You want to parent a child that's going to know your God. You want to parent a child that is sound spiritually. What curriculum do you have? What curriculum do you have? All right. So number 3, it also helps you to document. So for parents who create curriculum plans like this, you are able to document and replicate this process. Yes. So the difference between you who is not creating a plan and the parent who is creating a plan is that the parent understands that there is the place of documenting the process. There is the place of putting down a curriculum. It's not just having it in your head. I just talked about what curriculum are you going to pass your child through to teach them about your spirituality or teach them about your religion and all of that. Now, a lot of times, what do? We just wing these things, isn't it? As parents, we wing these things. A lot of times, there is no direction, there is no curriculum, there's nothing. We just do our thing. We just do our thing. Do I have to? But meanwhile, when you take them to other people to support them or to teach them, The reason that these people are able to do a good job and replicate this over and over again, it's because they have a well-written or documented curriculum that they refer to even on their journey. So is there something wrong with if you as a parent can sit down and also craft something like that to support your child? Is there anything wrong with it? If we now know that curriculum truly works. It is said that if you want to create change in a person, if you want to build change, I mean, if you want to raise someone and you want to see change in their life, then pass them through a curriculum. In fact, even when you take your dogs to go and train them with a dog trainer, do you know that the dog trainer passes them through a curriculum? So the dog trainer has got a curriculum and you don't have a curriculum for your child? All right. So when we call it curriculum like that, as I said, it begins to sound like it's something big. Do you have a plan? Can you write down that plan? Can we ensure that the right tools and strategies are infused in that plan? Can we pay attention to the child's milestones and milestones that should be achieved per time in that plan? See me already working with you. So why don't you come around and help? I mean, why don't you come around and let us help you, right? Create a solid curriculum that you can use with your child. Or why don't you enroll your child in the Mastermind Circle? Well, we have a well-tailored curriculum that you can tweak your curriculum through. Get them in the Mastermind Circle. We work with our curriculum with the child. Standard curriculum that covers all area of your child's learning. Standard curriculum that covers, that covers so much that at the end of the day, when your child passes that curriculum, you would know that you have raised the wholesome child, because the education is not just bits and parts or just one area. It is holistic. So why don't you enroll your child to join our half-year cohort of the Mastermind Circle that begins in 4 days' time? Is it 4 or 5 days' time? We take off on the first of March 2024. That's in a few days' time. We would onboard our new partners of the Mastermind Circle who are joining our half-year cohort. It's only 30,000 to be a part of the half-year cohort. What it means is your child is going to be under our support. We're going to be supporting the child. We're going to be training the child. We're going to be mentoring the child, and we're going to be offering the child accountability. We are in the child's life every day in this 6 months. Yes, every day in this 6 months. We are we are a school at home that is there every day. Yes, all you need to pay is 30,000 naira for 6 months. What does that mean? It means you're paying about 5,000 naira per month for you to access this, for you to access all these powerful things that we have. Nothing, I am not even joking, nothing beats what we have in the mastermind, especially when it comes to your young children and your preteens. Your 6-year-old, we have one of the most robust support system, accountability, and curriculum to create the right foundation for your child. We like to say in the mastermind that we want to help you raise your preteens to become effective, productive, and equipped teenagers. We want to help you, partner with you to raise your preteens in a way that you can have the smoothest, the easiest, and the most connection prone or connection infused parent teenager relationship. We know a lot of times how parents they fall out of love or whatever they do. We know how, that period in parenting can be turbulent. The period when your children become teenagers and they are aware of their individuality. most times because of your differences in opinion, because your children lack skills in many cases, because you have not shared perspective with the child over the years, because your ideologies are different, because you have not created a plan together and you have not worked on their journey together. You realize that there is all of this conflict. The child wants to do this, you don't think it is right. The child wants to talk this way, you don't think it's right. The child wants to dress this way, you don't think is right. The child wants to act this way, you don't think is right. Why go through all of that when you, right now, you can build and create something that you both can agree on and you can work on starting right now. So by the time they become teenagers and they're old enough, you can be guaranteed that their choices will be around what they've practiced over and over and over again. Very, very key. All right. Now, when you create a PEP, right, you're able to assess your progress when it comes to your child applying what they are learning in real life situation. Yes. So in when we create PEP, we try some, I mean, as much as possible to make sure that your child's learning is authentic, meaning your child's learning is based on application. It is not just vague. It's not just vague. Your child is able to apply everything that they are learning in real life situation. They're able to apply it in their everyday life. So when you create a PEP, you're able to take your time, stay in there, and that's what it is. Because it's not like it's a curriculum that is handed down to you. It's a curriculum that you are a part of. When we are creating this for you, you are a part of it. And if your child is old enough, the child is a part of it. So at the end of it, everybody, every stakeholder is on the same page. Very key. The parents that we work with in the mastermind, they have I mean, they know what to expect. They know what we're doing with the children per time. They know where it is that we're going per time. They know what theme we're working on every month. So yes, as a parent in the mastermind circle, you can actually take what we have and use it, to tweak it, right? Looking closer, I mean, closely at your child. You can also take what we have and use this to build, a home kind of curriculum such that we are all on the same page, we're all in sync, in supporting this child. So very, very key. Very key. Lastly, it helps you. We've said this over and over again, but I think it is worth saying one more time. It helps you to actually tailor your child's learning to meet your child's needs. A lot of times our children, I mean, we are schooled in areas that we do not need. I don't even want to start telling you about what it was, I mean, for me when I went to school to study botany. I mean, I spent 4 years of my life studying something that I don't really, as in something that I don't really need based on my interest, my do you understand? I'm not saying that it's not an amazing thing, I mean, amazing discipline, but it is for someone else, isn't it? It is for someone else. It's where some other person is tailored to be. It's where some other person's strength is where some other person is able to create impact. I mean, I remember back then some of my professors and the kind of impact that they created, or the kind of impact, I mean, how they impacted us and all of that. And the kind of things that they've done, right, to change the world, the kind of contributions that they've made, even in the academic world and beyond, being botanist or working in that area. But hey, it's not it's not me. But then again, because I understand the place of purpose, so it was part of my purpose, isn't it? It was part of what I needed to be where I am, or to be where I am going to, isn't it? So yes, so let's not discard it. But what I'm trying to say is, when you are focused as a parent, and you are creating plans like this, you are able to tailor whatever it is that the child is doing to meet their needs, to meet their uniqueness, to meet who your child is and what it is that your child is called to. So, if you would like us to help you or work with you to create a personalized education plan for your child, all right, then reach out to us. We're going to spend the first month, the first week in March, creating plans for parents who are interested in this. Yes, we do create PEPs for parents at other times during the year. It's just that it's not that cheap when we have to create a plan for you, an individualized plan for you alone, right, during the course of the year. It's something that we do all year round. We do it for families, we do it for individual children, and all of that. But at that point, you're going to be paying much more for us to create a personalized education or a personalized learning plan for you. So why don't you take advantage of this time where we're doing it at a very reduced price, okay, and enroll for that program? It will be happening in a short while, in the first week of March. So if you'd like to be a part of it, just check in the comment section. You will see, you check in the comment section and you will see the details that you need. But even if you are not in that space right now, you can help your child get the advantage of an amazing curriculum, because all of the support that we give and all of the accountability that they get when they join the mastermind circle. So why don't you register your child to join the mastermind circle 2024 half year cohort? And we say half year because the mastermind circle runs from September to August of the next year. So yes, it's half year for us because it's March. So we're going to run from March till the end of, till the end of August. So it's going to be March, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months. And then we begin a new cohort in September. All right. So thank you very much for joining me today. We achieved it. It's exactly 5:59. Sorry, 59 minutes. Have you? Is your child reading my books? I've talked and I'm always talking about perspective. It's one of the best gifts that you can give to your child. And how do you give your child the gift of perspective? Is that you can relate with them, or you can have conversations with them on specific areas that they are focused on per time, and you can throw in what's your take, what your perspective is, okay, in about these things, about the things that your child are learning or the child is doing per time. And one of the ways that you can do this is through reading books. Yes, so you can read a book together with your child, or you can have your child review a book that they've read, discuss a book that they've read with you, and that's where you get to bless them with the gift of perspective, sharing your experiences, your experiences, your knowledge, and all of that, your values, right, through that means. So we have written amazing books. All right, if you read my books, you will know that our books are tailored. Our books are tailored to help you have conversations with your children. Our books invite you to have conversations with your children. So you want to jump in and get these books for your children so that you can begin to share the gift of perspective with them. All right, so this is one of our new books that we published in December. Yeah, so it's Unlocking Excellence. So it's we say it's a student's guide to success beyond the classroom. So with this, you can have, I can't even tell you the kind of conversations that we have with our children just using this book. Okay, it simply means your child, you can read it together, right? Unlocking leadership skills, unlocking lifelong skills, unlocking faith and beliefs, kingdom life, unlocking financial awareness, unlocking talents and skills. All right, unlocking all of this, unlocking self-management, unlocking academic excellence, unlocking home management skills. So with this, you can throw perspective on each of these areas as the child is reading through. Even if you don't read it with them, but why not? Why don't you read it with them and have fun and doing something together. All right. So the other book is Young and Money Smart. Young and Money Smart is such an amazing book, right? What we've done here is we want to help children build the right mindset around money and all of that. So this book basically will help you share perspective on money with your child. You can get to talk to your child or get to share your perspective, your family, values when it comes to the subject of money. You can get to share that with your child, right? While they are reading Unlocking Excellence. Amazing books. Did I tell you our books are delivered? These lessons are delivered with stories, and delivered in a way that, the child will be hooked on it. All right. We also have the Stories for Champions series, our Stories for Champions series of God, Christmas Stories for Champions, Bedtime Stories for Champions, and Playtime Stories for Champions. Each of these books, 4,000 naira. You can get them. Amazing storybooks for your children, all right, that are younger. So your 6 year to 10-year olds can read these books. Amazing. Even up to your 13-year-old kids can actually read this. And the playtime stories, you can work with your toddlers. You can work with your children from 0 to 10 using these amazing book that is full of stories and activities, right? It's a child's adventure story where there are stories and there are activities that you can engage your children in to stimulate them. All right. So these are all three in the Stories for Champions series. Okay, we also have the Skill Up Journal that belongs to that series also, but this one is for reflection. Do you want your children to start reflecting, start thinking about what did I achieve today? What did I do today? You want your children to understand the place of gratitude? Then go ahead and grab this for 365 days. The year is still a bit young, so yes, you can still grab this for just 3,000 naira, and your child can journal every day and, of course, learn to reflect. All right, so we have this planner that we don't market all the time. Amazing resource. If you're a parent that loves to write notes to your children, you're a parent that likes to register milestones, okay, you're a parent that likes to do all of these things, and we have amazing templates here that you can use to create different aspects of your child's learning. You can even use what we have here, right, to start thinking about your parenting plan. Basically, you can use this. You can use this as a guide in creating goals and parenting plans for your children. Amazing resource, and it's something I say to parents, it's a legacy. My children have their copies, something that I'm going to hand down to them when they are a lot older. Even now, there are times my daughter will come, take her planner or my planner for her, and should actually go through it. She looks at the time, when she lost her first tooth, when she had, okay, all the very, and then she looks at all of the amazing notes that I've written to her at different phases of her life. Amazing resources, okay, that we have here. And then finally, my one and only parenting book, where I've shared the journey of a young parent or young first time mom and how she navigated that struggle, helping and supporting her child. All right, this amazing small but mighty book will help you if you're a young parent, if you're someone who's about to get married, if you're someone who just got married, if you're a parent of a toddler, or you're a parent of a preteen. This amazing book will help you, you know, um, gain insights on how you can support your child daily. So thank you very much. You can get all 8 of my books for just 29,000 naira. Yes, with 29,000 you can get all 8 copies of our books, and you can share this with your children and, of course, read the mentor parents for yourself. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for those who caught the replay. Thank you very much for those who were here. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you had. All right. So I hope you had. You got value from the session. If you did, or if you have any questions, please share with us in the comment section and we would respond to your questions. All right. If you don't have any, share with us if you got value from the session. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week again when we have another webinar uh, in our Skill Up show. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week ahead. My name is Mary Beth, and I'm signing out. Thank you. And we do not